Last week, my neighbor Sarah knocked on my door with what seemed like a reasonable request. She wanted to install a Ring doorbell camera, but explained it would partially capture my front yard and driveway due to how our houses are positioned. There have been some package thefts in our neighborhood recently, and she wanted to feel safer about deliveries. I appreciated that she came to ask first, but I politely declined. I told her I value my privacy and really don't want to be recorded every time I come and go from my own home. It's nothing personal against her, but being on camera constantly in my own space makes me uncomfortable. Sarah's face immediately changed. She got visibly upset and said I was being selfish, especially since the camera would help protect both our properties. She started listing all these benefits, like how it would deter criminals from targeting our whole block. Then she brought up her teenage son, saying he walks to school past my house every morning and the footage could help if something ever happened to him. I tried to stay calm and explained that I understood her concerns, but I still wasn't comfortable with it. I suggested she could angle the camera differently, or maybe look into other security options that wouldn't capture my property. That's when things got weird. Over the next few days, I noticed other neighbors giving me cold looks. Then my neighbor Tom from across the street came over and said Sarah had talked to him about the situation. He thought I was being unreasonable and paranoid since it would only capture a small corner of my yard. Sarah's friend Lisa, who lives 2 houses down, actually confronted me while I was getting my mail. She said I was being selfish and that we all need to look out for each other. She kept saying things like, "It's just a camera," and "What do you have to hide?" which really rubbed me the wrong way. I don't need to have something to hide to want privacy in my own home. The pressure kept building. Sarah would make pointed comments when she saw me outside about how she wished she could better protect the neighborhood, but some people don't care about community safety. A few neighbors started treating me like I was some kind of antisocial weirdo just because I didn't want to be surveilled. I started second-guessing myself. Maybe I was being too paranoid. Maybe it really wouldn't be that big a deal. But every time I thought about giving in, something in my gut told me I had the right to say no to being recorded on my own property. Yesterday, I got my answer about whether I should have stuck to my guns. I came home from work to find Sarah had installed the Ring camera anyway. Not only was it there, but she had angled it so it clearly captures my entire driveway and has a perfect view of my front door. I could see the little blue light indicating it was actively recording. I was furious. I marched over and knocked on her door. When she answered, I asked what the hell she thought she was doing installing the camera after I explicitly said no. Sarah got defensive and said she has every right to point cameras wherever she wants from her own property. She claimed she wasn't technically recording my house, just the area that happens to include my driveway. She said if I didn't want to be a good neighbor and agree to it, she'd just do what she was legally allowed to do anyway. I told her this was completely inappropriate and that she knew exactly what she was doing. She just shrugged and said she needs to protect her family, and if I cared about the neighborhood, I'd understand. Now I'm seriously considering calling the police. I looked it up, and apparently there are laws about recording your neighbors without consent, even from your own property. But our mutual friends are saying I should just let it go, since her intentions are good, and it's not worth destroying the neighborhood relationships over. They keep telling me I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, and that I should have just agreed in the first place. Some are saying I brought this on myself by being difficult about a simple request, but I feel like she completely violated my trust and my privacy. I said no clearly, and she did it anyway. Now I'm being recorded every single time I leave my house. AITA for calling police on neighbor who installed Ring camera facing my house,